love. Tell a friend about the network. Unbound Radio.
You know what time it is. We're gonna sit around the table and kick on back. Talk about whatever might come up.
Who brought that six-pack?
I got it. It might not make no sense to you, and if it doesn't, don't you fret. 'Cause it's Saturday night and you ain't seen nothing. Oh, let your hair down, people. Unbound and unwound. Unbound and unwound. Unbound and unwound.
Well, everybody, it's Saturday night, and of course, 9 p.m. Eastern. Time once again for another exciting episode of Unbound Unwound here on Unbound Radio. I'm Joe Joseph, along with a crack panel of guest hosts this evening. We got Change of Channel, Mr. Kenneth Webb. Yes, I meant Chewbacca, pardon me. And we also have Craig Houston on. He's, of course, premiering tomorrow along with his partner Kevin Baker, doing the Glasgow Underground News, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. Welcome to the broadcast, Craig.
Thanks, Joe.
And last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend, the broken man himself, Johnny English, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe. I appreciate the offer and the request to come on. I always love these shows.
Well, hey, no, I mean, it's good to be able to talk about the issues and let your hair down a little bit. Of course, I think I just heard an episode of you and Popeye doing just that the other night.
Yeah, we took Mr. Bob Costas and our old friend Piers Morgan to the woodshed.
Piers Morgan, yes. One of the topics tonight, because you guys really inspired me, I have to say. I was taken aback by the beating that you gave Bob Costas, the virtual beating, if you will. So I say, why stop there when we can beat him some more? As well as I want to talk about student debt tonight and find out, like, if you guys have any experience with the student debt problems. We'll get into maybe a little bit of parental rights and taxes. Oh, that's always a good thing to talk about. And the TSA. And anything else you guys want to talk about. So it should be an exciting night. An exciting hour of radio here. And, of course, after Unbound Unwound, you can stay tuned because Susan Lindauer hits the airwaves, and she's going to have a great broadcast as well. So, man, we're just going to get all sorts of crazy in here.
We have to glue Joe down to his chair. He's going to be floating on the ceiling.
That's right, yes, because 5 days of radio just isn't enough. 6 as always.
I don't know. I never get a chance. I've always run at a time. I always run at a time with the hour show.
Yeah, no, I know, man. And sometimes there's nights when you do. There's other nights where you're like, thank God. Oh, thank God. But I'll tell you what. One thing's for sure. There's no lack of things to talk about these days.
Mm-mm.
You know? So with that, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we will have and get into some of this subject matter. Not the way that you'd normally expect us to do it, as we let our hair down a bit. That's right, my golden locks flowing in the breeze. Tonight on Unbound Unwound. And don't forget to check out the great programming that Unbound Radio has to offer as we're expanding our content to include many subject matter experts that are going to help you make good decisions for yourselves and your family. So stay tuned. More on Unbound Unwound after these messages.
For hundreds of years, an elite group of oligarchs have ruled the land, fueled by a legacy of sex, money, power, and greed. In the last 60 years, their power has become more consolidated as they have become more organized. Their very own white papers and other documents show the diabolic plans they have in store for the population. Shade the Motion Picture, an Embellis and Burmis film, featuring Shepard Embellis, Jason Burmis, Alex Jones, Clyde Lewis, Webster Tarpley, Jordan Maxwell, Rosalind Peterson, Michael Murphy, reggae artist Skoll, Luke Rudowski, Servano Gonzalez, and more. Buy your copy of Shade the Motion Picture DVD right now at shadethemotionpicture.com.
Professional talk. Professional opinion. No jib jab. Unbound Radio.
Welcome back, folks. Don't forget to check out our social media pages such as Facebook and Twitter. You can like us and tweet us all just by clicking the Facebook and Twitter widgets on the Unbound Radio homepage. You know, the biggest fear that the global gangsters have is the truth, so help us spread it far and wide by linking to us through our social media pages, and thank you for helping make Unbound Radio one of the fastest growing talk radio outlets. Joe Joseph here, along with Johnny English, Craig Houston, and Change of Channel, Kenneth Webb. We're going over some of the top headlines of the day in a very unpolitically correct fashion. And I want to start out with Mr. Bob Costas, who, Johnny, the other day says, give me one example of someone using an assault rifle constructively.
Well, we gave at least 2 or 3 examples just on the fly last night. If you download last night's Down the Rabbit Hole, and you'll listen to us give at least 3 examples. And that was just on the fly. That was just off the top of our heads. You know, and he, by the way, he also said you can walk into any grocery store and buy an AR-15. Oh,
really?
Which store is he going into?
Well, apparently now, don't get me wrong, in some of the more rural areas, you're going to have stores that, showcase more than one thing, like, there's a store in my town that's U-Haul and flowers. Wait, really? U-Haul and flowers? I could think of many other combinations that I want. But you never know, Maybe, come on, get your gallon of milk, loaf of bread, stick of butter, and AR-15.
Yeah, I've never in my, I grew up in Alabama. I've been all over this country. I've never once seen a place where you could buy milk and a high capacity clip along with your AR-15. It just, I just don't know where these stores exist. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's right, man. Go check out, get your pack of Luckies, and oh, by the way,
Man, that dude's full of it. Yeah, I caught most of the show, and I was so mad because y'all were talking about that cat and then Pierce, and I was like, oh, dude, man, it just irritates me. It really does. I can't stand those cats, man. They're so phony.
Oh, yeah, Piers Morgan, there's another one. Now, Craig, you guys over in the UK, what the hell did you do letting that guy come over here? I mean, he was your problem. Why did he have to become our problem?
Well, Piers Morgan is a really good guy, and you need to keep him in your country. We don't want him back. I mean, he's really... keep him. We don't want him back. But the reason he's over there is to escape jail over here and to dodge a few bullets when that hacking scandal in the newspaper broke over here.
Yeah, but over in the United States, hackers are welcome, especially people that wiretap news agencies. Yeah, that's an open door policy over here for anybody that promotes that.
Just don't wiretap the Clintons because you'll end up on my list.
That's right.
And for some weird reason, apparently a British or especially a English accent, some people suggest that it asserts some authority over people in America. If a Brit says it, it must be true. But let me make it clear, that ain't true. Especially the English, they're as big a liars as everybody else.
Right, so I mean, if you go ahead and wiretap the press, or, maybe erode personal liberties, or subscribe to, say, Nazi killings, concentration camps, and, or you're a former Nazi yourself, why, come on in. The door is wide open for you here in the United States of America, the land of the free.
Well, see what happened here in the UK with the scandal that came out with the newspapers and stuff. It's a good example and a good thing for you guys over there to keep an eye on how they're going to manipulate this whole situation. Like over here, my God, these journalists broke the law. What a scandal! Jail them. They fucking broke the law in the first place. You don't need to then bring the UK press under a proxy control from the state as a result of journalists breaking the law in the first place. So, as a result of these journalists breaking the law, they've now wrote more laws to keep further tabs on what was already a limited free press which existed in the UK. And watch out for this yourself, guys. This is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to use this in some way, in some means, to manipulate it and go, right, well, we need to regulate this. And regulate, in another sense, is just meaning government control. And that's the way I can see this whole thing getting, especially the AP thing getting spun out.
But CDC, don't you feel safer? I mean, don't you feel safer now? Come on now, tell me the truth. You know you do. Exactly.
Oh yeah. I don't know about anything over here. Anything they're doing is all BS to me. Like I said, if I'm standing outside in the sunshine, got a beam of sunshine shining down on my face, and they tell me the sun's out, I'm gonna think something's wrong, and I ain't believing it.
Well, I can say this, that the freedom that we think we enjoy, you don't. You think you're free because you're told you're free. But I don't think there's many people in this country, guys, that know what freedom's all about. Or what it truly means to be independent. And to your point, Craig, we've got people like John Corzine that can go ahead and steal billions of dollars worth of people's investments and retirements. And he walks free today. And look at
Donald Rumsfeld could throw his hands up in there and go, whoops, trillions of dollars. We don't know what happened to it.
Mundane details.
Well, a lot of people say things are hidden in plain sight, and old Gerald Celente says, it's not justice, it's just us, and it's not a truer word spoke, man. Like, the judges are bought and paid for, and it's proven in the fact that these bankers are walking about, not one, a few of them have been offered up, but the vast majority of them are out there, still to this day, trying to pass that debt around the world, covering up for all their, and let's call them what they are, criminals, all their crimes.
Look what, you guys there?
Yep.
Everything just went dead silent for a second. I was like, well, here we go again.
Yeah, I gotcha, Johnny.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. You threw me completely off. One of the things I was going to say is, how does he go from, I don't understand how he went from sitting on a panel with a bunch of other celebrities, supposed celebrities, judging people on some stupid not reality show. And then all of a sudden he's credible. He's a credible journalist who's supposed to be looked up to as, he's all serious now. And I don't get that. I never quite understood that. It obviously is all about him, or, he wouldn't have made it as far as he has.
Well, I think he was wasn't he the editor of the Mirror? I can't remember what publication he was.
I can't remember. He was an editor over here. And obviously, an editor is like a gatekeeper information.
Oh yeah, no,
so-
he was like Supreme Allied Commander of whatever part of Rupert Murdoch's empire it was. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was the Daily Mirror. But
No, I think he saw a turd when he looked in the mirror.
well, maybe yeah, probably. But it was because of that he landed the show, the gig on Idol or whatever it was that he that he did. So, and then he comes over here, and I mean, you want to talk about just Larry King was bad. Don't get me wrong, but I take him back in a heartbeat, man. It was kind of like, boy, I said after Bush was gone and Obama came in, I said to myself, he can't possibly be any worse than Bush. Oh, good grief.
That's what a lot of people thought. I did too. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, man.
I thought he was going to be like really smooth, just really smooth. But no, he's taking it totally different than when Clinton was in. Clinton was more smoother. He still had all his stuff going on, but he still was more smooth until his second term. And this is Obama's second term. So.
Oh, yeah. Gloves are off, bro.
The Clintons were able to hide a lot more. They were able to sweep a lot under the rug.
Well, they had that because, internet really hadn't come around yet. And the other thing too is that people really weren't paying attention as much as especially towards the late 90s after the economy started to come around a bit, and the militia movement of the early 90s started to fade out. That's kind of when they were able to like really just sweep a bunch of crap under the rug. Makes me wonder if that Monica Lewinsky thing wasn't more of a screen or something to distract from what they were doing. But, then Bush comes along, and gosh, I mean, I thought everybody and their mother was pissed off at Bush and the things that he was doing.
But he's the first president that couldn't take that little walk. I mean, they started, as soon as he was going to his inauguration, they egged his car. People, oh man, people didn't like him.
Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't think that anybody succeeding him would have near the balls to do what Bush did. I mean, I would think that they would want to save face a little bit, maybe regroup, take things a little bit easier, kind of get the American people to trust them again a little bit more. Oh, hell no. He just went off the deep end, man.
Balls to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
But the first 4 years weren't as... There wasn't as much excitement in the first 4 years as there has just the past few months. He's done more in the past few months. I mean, and you were talking before. I now remember what I was going to bring up. The fact when you're talking about judges, Judge Clarence Thomas, who used to be a lawyer for Monsanto, and they just passed the Monsanto Protection Act. Gee, I bet he didn't excuse himself from that vote.
Now, there would be no recusing himself from that because, of course, now I have no interest in it anymore. I was just a paid employee. Oh, pip, pip, cheerio and all that.
So it doesn't make any sense, and people just do not. They don't pay attention. They just don't pay attention. Apparently, nobody paid attention the first 4 years, and now Obama gets elected again, and you see the same people getting reelected. And if Hillary runs again, I promise you, she will still have a huge backing of people that are just so sucked into this left-right paradigm that they don't have a clue.
This kind of reminds me of the civil rights movement of the '60s. And especially the work of Dr. King, because, and even with Gandhi, they knew that they couldn't combat things because the system was so corrupt, that they couldn't go about the legal way of doing it. So, like with Gandhi, it was peaceful non-participation. Same with Dr. King, boycotts, the whole nine. And here with Monsanto, and I think you brought this up on your show tonight, Johnny, was the fact that the only way we're really going to beat Monsanto if you stop buying their stuff and start utilizing the organic stuff as much as you can. And I know it's more expensive, but I'll tell you what, I've noticed, here's a little side story. My wife starts making this Italian bread. So we use real flour this time instead of that bleached crap that you normally can get at the store. And it costs a little bit more, but I'll tell you this, that fulfills you and satisfies you and nourishes you so much more than the crap that you normally buy, that it makes up for itself. So yeah, do you pay more? Yeah, but it stretches out a lot farther. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is that wholesome food is what you're supposed to be eating, and we could break Monsanto tomorrow if we just broke away from it.
Well, you actually
grow our own too.
Yeah.
Grow your own garden and then jar it up. I mean, if you can, even if you're in the city, you could still do an indoor garden of some sorts, or there's multiple ways to grow for yourself.
Well, I mean, Johnny, now go ahead, because you were going to say something, right?
Well, no, you spend more in the long run, actually. You just don't see it because it takes more of Monsanto's junk food to fill you up.
Exactly.
So you're spending more, you just don't see it.
Right, exactly. Well, I'll tell you where you see it. You see it around your midsection is where you see it, because this stuff just ain't good for you. And I'm feeling it too. We'll be right back, folks. Break coming up.
Get ready for the epic new documentary adventure ride of your life. Shade the motion picture. Hub you into the globalist domain and embellish and burn this film.
Nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing. Governments do not operate the way you think they do. Banks do not do what you think they do. The police department is not here for what you think it is. Nothing in your world works the way you think it does.
We have let them know that their world government has been identified, and they thought they'd include the world economy, bring in a worldwide police state, but instead it's going to bring them down.
You have to stand up, speak up, speak out.
Shade the motion picture. Order your copy of the DVD today at shadethemotionpicture.com.
Are chemtrail geoengineering programs changing our weather and destroying our environment? Why in the world are they spraying?
They want to create a storm in the southeast, then they'll start engineering out over the North Pacific. That's where the tragedies will be.
Find out why critics are calling Why in the World Are They Spraying the most important film that is revolutionizing the environmental movement. Go to whyintheworldaretheyspraying.com for more information.
It's just going to get worse until the point where we're not going to be able to grow anything at all unless it's a Monsanto genetically modified abiotic stress resistant seed.
Why in the World Are They Spraying? New international version with languages available from around the world. Go to whyintheworldaretheyspraying.com for more information.
It's all about money, and weather is another form of commoditizing, a way the Central Command Group can commoditize another form of our life.
Why in the world are they spraying?
And if you control the weather, you're going to control the planet. It's that simple.
IntelliHub.com, just the website you were looking for to get all of your news from. Whether it be health, science, geopolitics, globalism, depopulation, or the ever-increasing police state, IntelliHub.com covers it all. You can expect top-of-the-line daily reports from our reporters and journalists, such as Avalon, JG Vibes, Shepard Ambellis, Derek Bros, Servano Gonzalez, and more. Check out IntelliHub.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Intelligence Hub. IntelliHub.com.
Fill it to the rim with Unbound Radio.
Hey folks, you can take Unbound Radio with you wherever you go by listening to us on your smartphone with the TuneIn app. Just download the free software, then do a search for Unbound Radio, save us as a preset, and you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Unbound Radio on TuneIn, a must-have app for your smartphone. Joe Joseph here, along with Craig Houston, Change of Channel Kenneth Webb, and Johnny English, and we're discussing now Adam Kook Kesh.
Uh-oh.
You want to talk about a guy that has the potential to do some really good things and to really make change? And boy, I'll tell you, I feel like he's squandering it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but he's been given a great opportunity to make some things more nationally aware, raise national awareness on certain issues. And he goes about it in such an irresponsible fashion that it really makes me sick, because I wish I had the opportunity that he had to be able to raise awareness, especially when it comes to Second Amendment rights. Johnny, buddy.
How did I know you're going to me first?
Al, chum.
Yes.
What say you?
I'm not a huge fan of these type of tactics, and by that I mean, when this is not the first time Adam's been arrested, and back in 2011 he was arrested for dancing or something. Look, I agree with you in the fact that he does have this platform and he uses it to a certain extent, but and I agree with the fact, that marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it today, should be legal. It should be legalized. It should not be an illegal substance, because there are medical benefits to this. So I totally agree with that. But when you're selling bongs and you're visibly higher than a chemtrail on your show, and you're talking about all this stuff, you're not really reaching the people you need to reach. You're reaching people that already follow you. You're reaching people that do the same things as you. You're not doing anything to reach the guy, the veteran down the street, the World War II veteran, who he unfortunately grew up in the area against cannabis and all those other things, and thinks that all drugs are bad. Yes, he needs to be educated about it, but you're still not going to reach this guy. Case in point. Alex Jones goes on Piers Morgan, acts like a loon. Now, to his followers, I'm sure they're pumped up, going, "Oh yeah, Alex," and part of me was like, "Yeah, tell that freaking piece of where to go." But the side of me that is in this for the right reasons is telling me, look, he's preaching to the choir. Instead of preaching to the choir, he needs to be tailoring the message to the people that don't know, and try to win the people that don't know. Because there's a lot of people out there that are pissed, but they just don't know where to go to find an alternative source of information and or different avenues of expressing their redress or their grievances.
I don't know. Somebody who's been arrested over 50 times for disobedience.
Criminal.
But no, I think that a lot of people need to speak to the choir as well. I mean, a lot of people say, and I try to reach people as well and open eyes, but we need people preaching to the choir, because we can't get it together ourselves. I mean, we have the same problems that the rest of the world has, from plotting, planning, scheming, and scamming, just the whole division within our own movement.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta preach to the choir.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely have to. Don't get me wrong.
And provide information that, that they can reference and have a reference for them as well as, to pass on to people. So.
See, I'm more of a.
At what point do you start alienating people? You know what I'm saying? You're going to start alienating people at a certain point, and I think he's gone beyond that point now.
Well, with Adam Kokesh, I'll say this, that, he does some things that the old adage goes, one aw shit ruins a dozen attaboys. And he's had some aw shit moments in his, I don't want to call it career, but in his activism, where he ends up alienating people because of some of his more extreme actions, I guess you could say. Now, I'm for extreme actions myself, but in a more constructive manner, Not doing bong rips on your show and all that. Did you know that you don't have to be in front of your computer to listen to Unbound Radio? Now you can listen to Unbound Radio on your smartphone. Just download the TuneIn app at your Google or Apple store and do a search for Unbound Radio. Save us as a preset, and you can take Unbound Radio with you anytime, anywhere. Unbound Radio on TuneIn, your source for truth in a society of lies.
We all know the importance of having storable foods, but what about when the food runs out? What then? For real food independence, you need a supply of non-hybrid seeds. Introducing the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. The Survival Seed Vault is sealed for freshness and includes 20 varieties of easy-to-grow non-hybrid seeds for only $37.95. For less than $40, you've got real food independence, and the Survival Seed Vault includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions. Imagine the barter power you'll have when the food supply does collapse. Right now, save $9 instantly when you buy 3 or more Survival Seed Vaults from MyPatriotSupply.com. Same-day shipping on all orders, plus free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness products at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Get ready for the epic new documentary adventure ride of your life. Shade, the motion picture. A view into the globalist domain. An Embellis and Burma's film.
Nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing. Governments do not operate the way you think they do. Banks do not do what you think they do. The police department is not here for what you think it is. Nothing in your world works the way you think it does.
We have let them know that their world government has been identified, and they thought they'd implode the world economy to bring in a worldwide police state, but instead it's going to bring them down.
You have to stand up, speak out.
Shade the motion picture. Order your copy of the DVD today at shadethemotionpicture.com.
IntelliHub.com, just the website you were looking for to get all of your news from. Whether it be health, science, geopolitics, globalism, depopulation, or the ever-increasing police state, IntelliHub.com covers it all. You can expect top-of-the-line daily reports from our reporters and journalists, such as Avalon, JG Vibes, Shepard Ambellis, Derek Bros, Servano Gonzalez, and more. Check out IntelliHub.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Intelligence Hub. IntelliHub.com.
Did you know that you don't have to be in front of your computer to listen to Unbound Radio? Now you can listen to Unbound Radio on your smartphone. Just download the TuneIn app at your Google or Apple store and do a search for Unbound Radio. Save us as a preset, and you can take Unbound Radio with you anytime, anywhere. Unbound Radio on TuneIn, your source for truth in a society of lies.
I don't want to live inside a mobile home.
Jam out to punk rock politics with Jason Burmas. Weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome back, everybody, to Unbound, UnWound. Fantastic topic going on. It started out with Adam Kokesh and this him getting arrested today, and then I got into this thing and I walked right into the break. I mean, slam into it like at 55 miles an hour into a brick wall.
Brick wall, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was just like
destruction everywhere.
So anyway, I was talking about that episode that he taped himself on DMT, laying back on his bed. Oh yeah, I feel it now, man. And just thinking to myself, here you have an opportunity and a platform to reach a lot of people and make a real difference here. And you're laying on your bed, drooling on yourself for the world to see.
That stunt he done with the DMT was definitely like counterproductive. I mean, like there's even like the thing they talk about, the drug war, like they break it down into marijuana. That's just divide. The question shouldn't be marijuana; it should be the drug war completely. The whole thing in total is just a fraud to generate money. But what Kokesh done with that DMT, it's like, the drug war is so stupid, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in front of a camera and get high as a kite, and look how stupid I am when I'm high as a kite.
Yeah. And
it's a retarded art. Like, whether you question his motives or not, the way he approached it can definitely be questioned.
Well, CDC, seriously though, I mean, how is that productive in any way, shape, or form? And can you find any reason to legitimize how he screws up like that?
Yeah, he is an Iraq vet. He fought in Iraq.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's got life experience. He's got at least some sort of book smarts about him. I mean, as far as I don't want to call it common sense, but because it ain't common, but that's what we call it, common sense. He just seems to lack it in that department. I don't know, man.
How old is he?
I bet he's probably my age, late 30s, right? I would say. Yeah, about late 30s.
Oh, okay.
I think. I mean, I don't know. I've never looked it up. But he acts like he's 18.
No, you do. Like we were talking on break, you do have to, when you're presented with people. It's like me. I used to, on my earlier videos, I'd cuss and people would raise cane about like, I would watch your videos, but you cuss all the time. And I was like, nah, I'm just using colorful metaphors, right? But then I came to the conclusions like, okay, I could tone it down. I don't have to be just so outright like that, to show respect for other people as well. That's what you got to do. And yeah, doing that and, just blatantly, sitting there doing that. I think it's counterproductive for sure.
Well, just like when he got arrested today, he basically drug all these people out to this thing, and he was doing a countdown. I watched the video. He was doing a countdown for everybody to light up their marijuana, whatever they had, joints, pipes, whatever they had on them at the time. There were visibly police all around, the entire area surrounded with police. He basically put these people in a position to be arrested. He drugged these people out and made them put them on the line. Now, he did get arrested, and I think there was a couple other guys that got arrested as well. But the fact of the matter is, he is putting other people in danger of being arrested. And to me, that is counterproductive. And he's about to do the same thing on this march on D.C. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to have people out there with their guns, and they're all going to be arrested.
Right. And then what happens, guys? What happens when they do get arrested and it's a gun crime? Now,
well, how are they going to be arrested to start with would be the question. Now, these are loaded weapons that, so everybody's armed, locked, and loaded, and they're marching to a place where it's supposed to be not legal to even have these firearms anyway.
Right.
And when they're met, I believe that, I think it's going to be ugly. I thought that from the get-go. I think it's a really cool concept now. If you could take it in, we should be able to. And, I can see the concept, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know if that's the right answer right now.
Well, see,
these cats ain't playing.
Here it is, right? Like, I personally think only about 15 people would show up. Because I truly hope that people have more common sense than that. Number two, the District of Columbia is not part of the United States. It is independent and separate. It's a 10 square mile sovereign territory in and of itself. And they have different sets of rules. And my thing is, okay, you go to jail because of a gun crime. Now, are you going to be allowed to own firearms? Are they going to come for your guns? What are you doing to all these people that are going to show up? Thinking that they're doing it for a good thing and for something, that is just, and I get it is just, but the problem is I don't think the benefits are going to outweigh all of the effects and the fallout from participating in an event like this. You know, you have to be tactical when you think about things like this. It'd be like, okay, I'm going to give you a scenario here. WABC is knocking on your door, CDC. They want you to take over and fill the void left by Howard Stern. Okay? So you're like, oh boy, man, this is great. Oh, I'm going to be the next guy. All they require, they need an audition tape from you. Right? Now, if your audition tape, you know, sounded like, for example, yo, man, I'm like the man with the master plan. I'm changing channel, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got it going on like that, you know? Okay, so if it goes on like that, right, I don't think you're going to get the gig. Well, the same thing is happening here. Right. What do you possibly expect to gain by not only putting out an event like this months in advance and giving all the provocateurs all the time they need to plot?
That's exactly a provocateur out there. Somebody throw a firecracker down in the midst of that stuff. And
Could you imagine? Seriously. I mean, what the hell would that do? How would that make anything? I don't see any.
I like the concept of the mass migration. If
Me too.
Could get a mass migration of every person in this country that's discontent and somehow get them to DC.
Yeah.
You don't even need a provocateur or anything, just a random nutbar, just a random crazy person just to turn up, and one shot could absolutely wreak havoc.
Well, yeah, somebody shot up a Mother's Day parade in New Orleans. What do you think is going to happen with a bunch of people carrying loaded, firearms? What do you think is going to happen when a few shots ring out and all of a sudden people are freaking out and whether they're dropping weapons or whether they're just pointing and shooting? I mean, this could get real ugly. And I agree with CDC. The concept, good. Obviously there needs to be awareness. There needs to be some sort of gathering and some, people marching on DC. Look at the Million Man March.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a good thing. But a few thousand people toting loaded firearms marching into the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
No, not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all.
Imagine how they're going to be prepared for those amount of people marching on.
Oh yeah, because they've had months to deal with it. And let's see what law can we create right now and pass through the city council and have it signed by the mayor, making what they're doing illegal and like a class 1 felony.
And I bet you there is there would be 0% chance that could go off and go off without an incident, because there's going to be a provocateur. They're not going to pass up that opportunity to pop a couple shots off and get the herd stirred up. Next thing you know, big gun battle. I can't see any other thing coming up. If it happened and people actually marched up and there was, no problems, I would wonder what the government was up to, that they didn't take that opportunity to push the envelopes with the gun bills and everything that they could really get pushed through after an incident like that.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people now are seeing the light when it comes to this. I remember in the 90s, as a response to the rise in the militia movement because of the Clintons, and Waco and the whole nine, Ruby Ridge. It's funny because the response was the anti-gun movement just going crazy. I remember watching, I think it was Lethal Weapon 2 or 3, where all over that police station, it was like NRA with a big slash through it and gun violence posters everywhere. And, and I remember being in high school in the late 80s, early 90s and everything like that. And to be honest with you, growing up inner city, it was like, if you were armed or even talked about that kind of stuff, it was vilified. And it was different than it is now. See, now, at least now being a parent, I don't do that. As a matter of fact, I teach my kids firearms awareness so that they know, because of just how important it is. But the people of the District of Columbia have made it perfectly clear that they don't want guns in their little 10 square mile area. So if you want to have guns, go to one of the 50 states, not the District of Columbia. You know, that's another thing too. But I think those resources that are being put towards an event like this could be put to much better use. You know, especially when it comes to raising awareness. I say raising awareness, guys, nothing beats a party like that. You know, have like Truth-a-Palooza or something. I don't know have a big event where everybody can converge to have a good time and network and spread the love, you know? I don't have to get all militia. What do you think?
Well, when I was a kid, when I went to high school, you have your truck with your gun rack in the back, you had your shotgun, your rifle, and it was no big deal. You drive to school, you park in the parking lot. I mean, I carried a gun with me all the time. I mean, we couldn't carry it in the school, but it was no big deal to have them in your truck and visible. And I grew up in, Virginia, and I never thought guns were that big of a deal. I always thought that, that they provided a very good service for millions of people every year, at defending themselves, and also, just shooting, having a good time, and I don't know. Then all of a sudden it just became a big deal again.
Well, that's what I grew up in Alabama, and it was the same thing. Everybody had a shotgun in the rear window. Nobody was getting shot accidentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not one incident ever.
Oh, stop it. I didn't live that far back in the woods.
Well, this is more of a response to CDC right there. Man,
oh, okay.
He said, well, I grew up in Virginia. He's just not telling you the west part, you see.
Yeah. Hey, you don't mess with those hill people.
No.
You don't. The cops won't even go on their land.
No, you're absolutely right. But no, see, that's the difference, though, CDC, is when you grow up in an area, especially where there's more hunting and, things are more rural, you have that awareness. You have that tradition. Whereas in the cities and the population centers, everything's so much more controlled and demonized, especially that it's a shock when you find out the truth. There's a lot of people, in the population centers of the United States right now that don't understand. I think rural America understands and gets it a whole lot better.
Yeah, but it's a lot different circumstances, different stimuli, different environment, everything going on in the inner cities. I lived in San Francisco and Oakland, and it's totally a different vibe, different speed and everything.
Yeah. When we come back, folks, it'll be the last segment of this thrilling Unbound, Unwound this Saturday evening. So don't go away. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Are you looking for a fresh new option when it comes to getting your daily news? Look no more. Intellihub.com. Independent news for independent minds. Check out our exclusive articles daily by top reporters at theintellihub.com.
In an emergency situation, would you drink contaminated water? You could if you had the amazing LifeStraw from MyPatriotSupply.com. LifeStraw is the most advanced personal water filter available today. It filters contaminated water from almost any source. LifeStraw is lightweight and compact, perfect for hiking, camping, or in an emergency like a flood. LifeStraw is easy to clean, comes with a 1-year warranty, and has been used worldwide since 2005. Get the amazing LifeStraw personal water filter at MyPatriotSupply.com. Plus, check out Survival Seed Vault, 20 seed varieties for only $37.95. Tatler canning lids, long-term storable foods as low as $69.95, and much more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Enjoy stress-free shipping on all orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927 or visit MyPatriotSupply.com. That's 866-229-0927. MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence.
Get ready for the epic new documentary adventure ride of your life. Shade the Motion Picture. A view into the globalist domain. An Embellis and Burnless film.
Nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing. Governments do not operate the way you think they do. Banks do not do what you think they do. The police department is not here for what you think it is. Nothing in your world works the way you think it does.
We are here to let them know that their world government has been identified, and they thought they just closed the world economy to bring in a worldwide police state, but instead it's going to bring them down.
You have to stand up, speak out.
Shade the Motion Picture. Order your copy of the DVD today at ShadeTheMotionPicture.com.
Did you know that you don't have to be in front of your computer to listen to Unbound Radio? Now you can listen to Unbound Radio on your smartphone. Just download the TuneIn app at your Google or Apple store and do a search for Unbound Radio. Save us as a preset, and you can take Unbound Radio with you anytime, anywhere. Unbound Radio on TuneIn, your source for truth in a society of lies.
If you like a lot of Unbound Radio on your biscuit, join the club.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're going to rock around 8 o'clock tonight. Praise the glad right now. Join me high. We'll have some fun around the clock straight. When we're going to rock around this glad.
Welcome back. It's Unbound, Unwound here on Unbound Radio. I'm Joe Joseph along with Kenneth Webb, Change the Channel, Craig Houston, and the new show, Glasgow Underground News, Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern, and the Broken Man himself, Johnny English. We're wrapping up this Saturday evening's broadcast. And guys, as we kind of wind it down, I want to talk about solutions real quick. If the Adam Kokesh way is not the way to go, what would you say are some ways that we can raise awareness better, putting the resources to better use? What do you think, CDC?
I like the mass migration idea. I think a lot of what we need to do now is continue, the movement needs to continue spreading the information, keeping up to date with what's going on, but also remembering we can still break down all the stuff from the past a little bit different and pass that on as well. But I think we really need to wake up ourselves still. We need to work on ourselves. People really need to work. You need to work on your life in your home, or, your life in your community, and branch out that way also, instead of just like really vast reaching and not paying attention to what's really going on around you as well and in yourself. So I think that really, I keep coming back to that, and I can't help it anytime anybody asks anything about a solution. I think the first step is within ourselves. I mean, we can't expect people to get along in the neighborhood or state, the country, the world, if we can't even get along within ourselves and in our house and in our communities, and so forth.
Yes, very good, very good. I like that. That's very good solution, and I agree with you 100%. What about you, Craig? What are some possible solutions?
Well, what CDC said is like the first step is actually starting to ask. I don't think anybody really, no matter how long you look into things, will get anywhere close to the truth. But the important thing is to realise that you need. The important thing is to start asking the questions, to search for the truth. I don't think anybody will ever definitively get there, but to start searching for it and keep searching for it, because it's a never-ending journey. Is the important thing. And in the way of solutions, like, it's like, well, what is this solution? But it's like lots of wee small baby steps to ultimately get to, well, a better world. And like at the moment, as I was chatting to you the other night, Joe, the Bradbury pound as a concept is something that you can say to people and they can understand it. And then they can actually ask the question, well, I can understand this as a viable alternative to what we have, so why isn't the government even considering it, never mind not talking about it? So it's like that's only a small part of the overall solution, but it's just the one thing to put out there. And the Bradbury pound could be put into place in a lot of countries, cuts out the central banks, and solves a lot of problems. Doesn't get you ultimately where you want to go, but certainly it's a giant step in the right direction.
No, cool, man. How about you, Johnny?
Well, I like the idea, CD. I like both ideas, actually, both guys. I really think it's important that you try to reach as many people as you can, not only on the air if you're a show host, or if you think that you're not making a difference, get that out of your head.
Yeah.
Gather up, find like-minded people in your community and get together. Just like May 25th is March on Monsanto Day, where all across the world this thing is going to happen. That's a very important step, is to do these things, but don't put yourself at risk. We have to fight this, but we have to fight it within the laws that surround us. Martyring yourself is not going to solve the problem. It might make you famous, but it's not doing one thing to solve any problems that we have. So, and really a lot of us don't even realize how many people are actually listening to us. I recently found out family members that I didn't even know listen to my show. They've spread it to other people in the state of Iowa. I had no clue. So those of us that are hosts and those of you that blog, if you think nobody's reading or listening to you,
you'd be surprised.
They are. They just can't. They just, maybe they don't want, it's not time for them to step up yet. Maybe encourage that. So that's what I would do.
Amen to that, brother. No, I think everybody's answers and responses were fantastic tonight, and well, I appreciate you boys coming on tonight. Coming up in just a couple of minutes is Susan Lindauer, and should be another thrilling broadcast coming up from Susan. So make sure you stay tuned. Well, boys, it's been fun. Same time next week then.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. And, folks, don't forget to check out the programming here at Unbound Radio. Fantastic programming all day long. Of course, you can change the channel Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. And the Freedom Link, Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we got Broken Man Radio, Saturday and Sunday. From 8 to 9. And we got Glasgow Underground News with Craig Houston and Kevin Baker tomorrow, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm Joe Joseph. Have a great evening, everybody. Take care.